Hi, Kathryn.
Hey, Elise, hello.
How are ya?
So far, so good in these crazy COVID times.
Oh, I know. I was just talking about this yesterday, that it's just been such a crazy year.
It is, and we're halfway finished. So let's see what we can make of the rest of the year.
To think that yesterday was July 1st blows
Mhm.
my mind. It's really such a shock to my system because I feel like it was March and then I blinked and now we're halfway through
Voila, here
2020.
we are.
I know, and I feel like I've maybe not left my house, but on two hands that many times. So, um, but yeah, we're making it. We're getting through, which is all that matters, really. But yay! So I'm so glad that we're doing this. For everybody tuning in, this is Kathryn. She is a new coach at Blush, and we are so grateful and honored to have her. What we're doing today is just doing a quick little interview. That way, everybody watching can just get to know Kathryn a little bit more. We have some personal questions, some coaching questions, and just some fun questions, which those ones are my favorite. So I'm really excited to see what your answers are. So let's just get right into it. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, let's talk.
Perfect. So the first question is, where are you located? Where do you live?
I'm located in Portland, Oregon. I moved here in 2016 after many, many years in the San Francisco Bay Area where I was working with giant tech companies.
Wow. I've never been to Oregon, but I heard it's very beautiful. I love nature and like trees. And so I feel like that's just such a peaceful place to be. Do you feel like you're going to stay there for a while?
For a while, it's been a great move. It really has been wonderful. So, thumbs up from this perspective.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely on my bucket list of places that I need to go. Okay, next question. We love assessments at Blush. They're one of my favorite things. I think they're just so insightful and bring so much knowledge, and it's just such a cool way and new perspective to evaluate yourself. So the first one is the MBTI. So what is your Myers-Briggs type?
Well, my Myers-Briggs has been pretty stable over time on many tests and retests. It's ENTJ, which is also known as the Field Marshal, or in cartoon terms, Lucy Van Pelt in the Peanuts cartoon, who seems to like to boss people around. um, I had some background as a project manager in technology firms, and so that was useful there, but I try to tone it down.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you resonate with that type too. I feel like sometimes people do these tests and they're like, yeah, kind of, but it's not really like I own it and I feel it. So I think that I see that you are like, yeah, that's totally me and I love it. And then the next is the Enneagram. I feel like the Enneagram has recently become like a really well known assessment, even though it's been around for a really long time. So I'm curious, what is your Enneagram type?
Well, my Enneagram is interesting in that it's almost equal in three different areas.
Ooh.
Number one, which is perfectionist, number eight, which is challenger, and number five, which is investigator. I'd say that I resonate a lot more with the challenger eight and investigator five, but I guess I have to own some perfectionism. I maybe am recovering in that regard, but I guess there's still some of that that might be reflected in the J of the ENTJ on Myers-Briggs.
Yes, I totally think that correlates. And my parents always say, like, anyone who pursues higher education has a little bit of perfectionism in them, just as it
I
is. So,
guess.
okay, two fun facts about yourself.
One of them was that I was on the editorial staff of a cooking school in Paris, and that entailed producing some various books for the UK, US, and Australia market. And then something that was completely different was that for a number of years, I consulted with the Los Angeles Police Department as a consulting organizational psychologist.
Oh my gosh, that honestly, that has been a realm that is so interesting to me. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna email you after this and we're gonna have to talk about
Absolutely.
that because that sounds so interesting. Those are really cool, fun facts. I love those. Okay, some hobbies that you enjoy doing.
I especially like travel and adventure travel. And of course, in these times, it becomes particularly a precious memory to go to places like Chile, Thailand, Tonga, doing things like biking, hiking, uh, um, and kayaking, and then also scuba in places like that, but also scuba in places like the Galapagos, Alaska, Mozambique, and a number of other places. So in this post-COVID world, we may be able to do more traveling again, but I, like many people, probably had a ton of travel canceled as a result of our current situation.
I know, which is so tough. I feel like those are things that you look forward to doing, and they really like are a huge part of your well-being and your happiness. To have that be put on hold and unreachable right now is so hard. I'm curious what your favorite place you've traveled to, because it sounds like you've traveled to a lot of places.
I have traveled to so many places. I really like aspects of all of them. And I guess I would say probably my favorite is my next place, which is
Oh,
TBD.
I love that. I think that I like that a lot. I like that. Okay, your favorite book for yourself and to recommend to your clients.
I very much like a classic book by David Burns called Feeling Good. And this is a book that helps people pay attention to their thoughts, whether they're unhelpful or self-defeating. And it gives people a way to reframe those thoughts, to investigate those thoughts, to be more realistic and more helpful. And in the same vein, I like another book that's by Arthur Freeman called Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, and it develops kind of similar self-awareness, self-monitoring, and self-correction skills.
Yeah, I haven't heard of either of those, but they sound great. I always talk about with my clients the power of your thoughts and your words and how detrimental it can be when you don't monitor them and you don't have that self-awareness, and they kind of just suck you into this
That's
negative
right.
space. So I think that that's so important. I'm going to have to go Amazon myself those two books. Okay, now we're going to get into some coaching questions. So how long have you been with Blush for?
Just since June of 2020, and I'm so excited to be on board with the Blush team to support Blush members.
Yes, we are so happy to have you. Okay, so what attracted you to the helping profession? I really like this question.
I've always been interested in how people might be able to live and work more effectively and more comfortably. And I've found that evidence-based coaching provides validated approaches to do that. And that actually is what pulled me toward this work.
I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so your favorite blush topics to coach on?
I really like looking at career development, which could include switching careers, advancing in a career, developing career-related and leadership skills, managing oneself in the career. And we all have plenty of stress. And so self-management, self-regulation, being able to develop relationships with others in a workplace setting, being able to speak up and communicate effectively and be persuasive, and also to lead high impact change in work settings are all things that I'm interested in.
Ah, that's so important. That honestly was one of my favorite classes in grad school was career counseling. It was just so interesting to me because if you think about it, we spend the majority of our time in life working. And so to be in a place where you're unhappy or unfulfilled or not being the best you that you can be or having areas of growth that you really need to focus on, that's so important. So I think that that's definitely a great topic that is so, so important, especially just with everyone, not, no matter where you're at in your career path.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what is your favorite thing about coaching?
My favorite thing about coaching is enabling coachees to find their own success as they define it, and also to find some peace of mind.
I love that. That's a really powerful answer. Okay. So your best coaching tip for a client who is maybe thinking about joining.
I hope you join. It's a great journey.
Do it. I know. I always say it's the most beautiful journey. I actually started out, I don't know if Callie told you, I started out with Blush as a client like 5 years ago. And so
I
I got
didn't
to
know that.
see I got to see the other side of it, and it was just such a powerful experience. And I was like, okay, I know what I want to be when I grow up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so your favorite self-care activity?
I really like things like swimming and yoga and walking.
Mm, I love all of those. I feel like they're just very calming, especially I love being in the water. I think there's something so
Yeah.
peaceful about it. Um, okay, and your favorite quote?
I love this quote by Marilyn Monroe, who said, "Sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together."
I really
She was no dumb blonde.
I know, I know. I feel like she got a bad rap sometimes, but I really appreciate her and I love that quote. Okay, so now we're getting into the good stuff, which I'm so excited about. So these are the fun questions. If you could have a dinner party and could invite anyone, who would be invited?
There are so many who hit my like buttons, but just thinking from a US perspective, I think of people who would be so amusing. One person is Roz Chast, another is Saul Steinberg, and these people are cartoonists who have been featured in the New Yorker. I think also of Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway, who do podcasts, and they talk about things in technology, business, and they have quite a lot of banter between them that is at times just beyond laughable, but they actually have a very serious and thoughtful side, and currently are skewering a number of business leaders, which I find entertaining. I also think about Jon Stewart and Rachel Maddow, who are very irreverent in the political arena and the satire arena. And I think about people as diverse as Queen Latifah, Queen Noor, and the Queen's gay men's chorus. So you've got to get music in all different forms.
Yes, I love that. That sounds like a really fun dinner party. I always, with all of these questions, I'm like, I get an invite too. I'm going to be there. So, okay, one thing that you cannot live without.
Well, I think it's purpose and values as guiding principles.
Ooh.
I would say, though, I try to be adaptable and live without material things when they're not available. And we've certainly learned a bit about that in these current times where we thought, I just can't live without this or that. And we have done that over the last several months. So, on the one hand, I think that guiding principles, values, and purpose are core. I think these times have also shown us about our own flexibility and adaptability and being able to
Mhm.
question the question.
Absolutely. And I think too, during this time, for me especially, I never realized how much I actually took for granted until those things have not readily been available to me. And I'm like, I miss going to the grocery store without a mask. All of these little things that for however many years we've all been living, I feel like we sometimes lose touch of that. So I think the silver lining, what I've held on to in this time is that when things do go back to normal, because they will eventually, that we'll have this new appreciation for things that we maybe took for granted before. So I love that.
Absolutely.
Okay, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably a combo of greater patience and greater self-awareness.
I love that. That would be my husband's too. Um, okay, what or who inspires you the most?
In current times, I think the social activists and the truth tellers who go against popular opinion to inspire the social change that we're seeing and know that we need.
Yeah, it's so powerful. It honestly brings like tears to my eyes because it's just so brave and so courageous, but so important. So I hear you on that. Okay, and then the last question is what makes you feel most empowered?
Having choices.
Mm, yes, I can totally agree with that. I love that. Well, that was so fun, Kathryn. I loved it, and I loved all of your answers. And it was so nice to just get connected with you and
Oh,
learn a little
wonderful.
bit about you. And we're so honored that you are on the team, and we're excited for the future.
Likewise, great to connect. Looking forward to working with everybody at Blush. And thank you so much for the time, Elise. Really
Okay, thank you
appreciate it.
for the time, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, Kathryn, have a good
Great.
day.
Take care.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye.